Canoeing has been my life, and by that I don't mean I haven't done a lot of other things, but I think we all have a touchstone in our hearts and in our lives, a place that we get to go to where we feel safe, a place we get to go to where we're fully able to expand and be ourselves. And over time, it didn't start off that way, but over time, long canoe trips by myself in the Canadian Arctic have become what define me, and I enjoy them still. 2 years ago I did one for 5 weeks, which is the basis of the book that'll come out in about a year, called When It's Dark Enough, You Can See the Stars. I also was able to make a relationship with PBS and Channel 4 in England and travel the world in the back of a canoe. I had an outside job which was really suited to me. I wouldn't have done well on the inside at a desk. And on one of those journeys I went to Siberia, and the film that was made is called Yankee in Kamchatka, about the first American visit to the peninsula of Kamchatka. And we were the first legal Americans to go there. There probably were some people spying before that. But during that time of several months in Russia, before anybody had really begun to go there, we went to see reindeer herders. And the reindeer herders, as opposed to caribou in the Arctic, you can't herd caribou, but you can herd reindeer. And we spent a week with this wonderful tribe of people. And during that time, one of the men that I traded him some fishing lures and some pieces of clothing for his knife, which he had made. And it's a beautiful knife, handmade. And it had a companion piece, a little knife. And in one of the other films I made after I'd been in Siberia, and that was called Talking to Angels. And there are two things that you never do on PBS. One is to kill something, and the second thing is to swear. And I think I've talked about the goose that I shot on public television and got lots of negative conversation. But I thought it was appropriate because I was participating in gathering my food. And this goose, you see him go from being the goose to being a cooked goose to being soup to being leftovers. But when I was cleaning him, I was using my little knife, the companion to this one, and I rolled off a rock and it fell down in the water 8 feet down between two big boulders, and I couldn't get it. And when I leaned over, they had to block it on PBS, but when I leaned over, I said, "Oh, fuck!" And that's the story of that knife. So many stories of canoeing and having it be my life. But it's a traditional thing to do in North America, and white people were not the first people to use canoes. And I feel honored that I can continue that tradition into our modern time. And I like to think I respect the land and the people that came before, especially in the Arctic north of Yellowknife on the watershed of the Great Fish River, I like to call it, not the back river which it is marked on the maps. And it's just a fabulous journey. One of the things that keeps it somewhat less traveled in an age where everybody goes everywhere. They don't go to the Arctic and they don't go down the back river. And part of that reason is you need certain skills to do it, but you also need to deal with the bugs. And there are mosquitoes and black flies that you cannot believe the amount of. And if you're not willing to deal with them and the routine of a long trip, then you really don't want to go. We've bypass long trips now, and we do a lot of extreme sports where a person's going in for that one moment of excitement as he falls or jumps or rappels or climbs. And they're not really interested in the long journey, which is what I base my life around, is the more time I can spend in the Arctic, the happier I am.